Hi everyone, welcome back and thanks for joining me. This is Jana with Purple Girl Crafts. Today we're going to make this fun fold card. I recently did a similar style, posted on Instagram, and had a few of you request that I make a tutorial. On here I did put some of the accent on the wings just to give them a little bit of glitter. And then you open this up, you'll see the images are on the other side in the opposite direction. These are images that I did draw. This card does measure 5 by 7. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we'll need is our scoreboard. And for the base piece, we are going to cut this at 10 by 7. We are going to turn this back on the 10-inch side, and we are going to score this at 5 and 7.5. So those are only 2 score marks you need for the base of the card. Then we will need one piece, and this is cut at 6 3/4 by 4 3/4. And then we will need 2 pieces, and these are cut at 2 1/4 by 6 3/4. If you have extra paper, you can cut one more so that you have 3 of them. I don't have enough of this paper, so I only did 2. I'll show you why in a little bit, why we need the 3rd piece. Then we need 4 pieces, and these are just cut out of a 1 7/8 inch diameter circle. I use the same background paper. Probably shouldn't use the background paper, and I would have had enough to make one more strip. And then I also cut out 2 pieces just of white cardstock, and these are for my sentiments, and they are the same size, 1 7/8 inch diameter. Then we need 6 pieces, and I used glitter paper. These are 2 1/4 inch diameter. These are from a waffle nesting dies. And I did 2 of each color. So let's get these out of the way. Then you will need 3 pieces, and I'm just using the rest of the yellow that I had cut off. So these are 1/2 inch, and they're about 8 1/2 inches, or the size of your normal cardstock. Okay, so we're done with our scoreboard, so we're going to move that out of the way. And next we're going to work on the center of the card and these waffle circles that we've done. So you're going to take your strips and we're going to glue these to the circles. So I'm just making sure my colors are all together. So I have 2 purple, 2 blue, and the 2 pink. And then what you're going to do is we're going to glue this right in the center of each of these circles. So you just want to make sure it's lined up. I'm actually going to move this just so I have it on the board so I can kind of line up my paper. And then I'm just going to line this up so it's between these 2 lines, and that way I know it's lined up and it's in the center. I'm just going to put glue to about halfway in the center, and then I'm just going to glue that on, trying to make sure it stays straight. And then I'm going to take this piece. As you can see, it's pretty flimsy. I'm going to turn it back over. I'm going to fold that yellow piece in half. That will just give it some extra strength. And you can crease that out. You don't really need to because we're going to end up cutting these. So you don't need to crease that out if you don't want to. And then we're going to take glue, put glue on the whole back side of this. And then we're going to glue that purple one right back down on top of that. You want to make sure you line up your scallops. I kept saying waffle, maybe it is a scallop edge. And that's the piece you should have. So we're going to do that on the other 2. Again, I'm just quickly lining this up, folding it in half. And then glue that other piece on top of it. Then we'll do the last one. And again, making sure that the scallops are lined up, and then secure that down. Next, we're going to take the base of the card and we're going to fold that. So you want to fold that first fold in half, crease that out, And then take that other fold and fold it forward, or a mountain fold. Line up those edges and then crease out that fold. So this is the base of the card. Before we do any of the paper, what we're going to do is we're going to sit these on the card, and you could do these in any order. But they are going to sit right here. So I'm actually going to put the pink one on the top, the blue, and then the purple. I'm going to turn this just so I can see it just a little bit better. So you want to line these up, making sure you've got even spacing between them. And don't worry about the yellow because we're going to end up cutting some of that away. So once you have these lined up where you want them, yeah, it looks good right about there. I'm going to take my pencil and I'm just going to put a mark on either side of that yellow strip that's showing. And I'm going to do that on all three of them. So again, I'm trying to make sure these don't move. If you want to tape them down, you could. That probably would be a good idea. And I'm just putting just a light mark on here. Okay, so I'm going to pick this up just so you can see just the little dashes that I made. And that's just enough because we are going to take our knife and we're going to cut a slit on either side of those lines and on either side of that fold. And you just want just a little sliver so that that piece will fit through there. So I'm just going to pop one of these out just so you can see. It's just enough of a mark, and then you want to erase your pencil marks. I'm going to cut this just a little bit straighter. And then you want to do that to all three of them. And again, I'm going very slow just so I make sure that I don't go too far and too wide. And then just poke out those pieces that you cut out. We're going to put these inside and just line them up so they are almost to the edge. Just give it just a little bit of clearance. Again, remove your pencil marks. And then just feed all three of these through that little slit. And then to the other side. Just pull them through. Then once you have them where you want them, go ahead and lay that flap down. And then we're going to cut off the excess on these and we're going to glue them down. So I'm going to turn this. I'm going to cut these about halfway. The only purpose of these on there is just to glue them down so they stay on the card. So now that we've cut those back, we're going to glue this strip down. And the easiest way to do this is just to put glue on the bottom piece of the card. Now I am using the quick grab glue just so that I can make sure I've got room to move this should I need to. If you use a tape or something, you're not going to be able to reposition it. So using a quick dry glue is probably better because you have a bit of wiggle room. And then just go ahead and glue all three of these down. You can glue the two pieces together. You don't need to because you're going to put a piece on top of this. And then the last one we'll glue down. Now this is if you had the extra piece of paper, you could put it here. I cut the circles out and didn't think about the extra piece on the bottom, so I'm just going to use a yellow piece, but you could use the colored paper or the designer paper that you're using on the inside of the card. You could put it here. So I'm just going to glue this first yellow piece down. I just use my bone folder just to push out that glue. And then for the front of the card, we're going to glue down our pieces. I'm going to use my bone folder just to push out that fold just one more time. So I'm going to glue one piece onto here. And on my pattern paper, I'm going to make sure that the lines are going the same way. So these two will be on the inside. So I'm going to glue this one to the front. Again, making sure that it has that nice border all the way around. And then I'm going to glue on the inside the second piece and then the base piece. And I'm just using my bone folder just to push out that glue. So next we're going to work on the embellishments. So these are the dragonflies that I drew. I've got one that is standing straight up. We'll put him in the center, and then we'll put the little dragonflies on the top and the bottom circle. And I almost forgot, we also cut out the pattern paper that's the same as the inside of the card and the top of the card. So we have these 4 pieces, so we're going to put these on the card also. I'm going to put the blue on top of the purple, making sure that the lines are going the same way. And then I'll put the pink on top. That'll just break up some of the glitter paper. And then in the middle circle will just be our sentiment. So I'm going to glue the 2 pattern papers down first. And then the hello will be on the front on the center one. And then we'll glue the pink one up on top. You don't really have to do these extra layers if you don't want to. So we're going to glue down the sentiment. And that looks good there. And then for the little characters, we'll put one on the bottom. And again, one on the top. And then when we flip it on the inside, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do the colored paper first. We'll do the blue piece. Again, I'm just making sure that the lines are going the same way. And then we'll do the sentiment, and that one will be right in the center. So for these, I'm just going to line them up, see where I want them, and then we're going to glue these down. It's okay if he hangs over on the top and the bottom just a little bit. as long as he stays within the parameters of the card. So next we'll glue the top one on. That looks good right about there. Then I'm going to flip this back over so it's at the front of the card, and we're going to glue these on. Oops, that's the wrong one. No wonder it wasn't lining up. Okay, so now that I have these lined up, so I'm putting the same character on the same side. I just flipped them before I printed them so that I had images facing each other, facing opposite each other. So when I line this up, I'm going to make sure that I line it up so that the wing that's overhanging and his eye are lined up. And that way you'll see him front and back on both in the same position. That looks good right about there. And then we'll glue this last one onto the top. So again, I'm just lining it up to make sure that his eyes and his wings are lined up in the same position. And then just go ahead and just push that glue in. Then I've got the other dragonfly. He's just going to be in the front. You just want to make sure he doesn't hit, so when you glue him down, he's still open, but he doesn't hang over the edge of the card. So I'm going to put him right about there. So again, I'm just going to glue him. You could make foam dots. You could make him dimensional. I'm not, just because I don't want to add any additional weight to the card. So we'll put him right about there. And that looks good. Then we're going to do some of the little pearls. And I'm just going to put a bunch of these just on the one side of the card, just a flap. And I'm just going to put these randomly. These have just about all the colors that are in the card, so I'm going to use just about all of these. I'm not going to use the red or black because there is no red and black in the card. And on here you could do as many as you wanted. You could do hearts, you could do stars, you can do any kind of embellishments. Yeah, that looks pretty good. We'll do a white one right there. Do yellow. I have a yellow. So, no, let's see. Let's put it over here by the hello. Let's do 2 of those. And then we'll do one more yellow, the light yellow. And we'll put that there. Okay, that's it. We're not going to do any more to the card. So that is the card that we made today. Again, I'll open it up to show you. The inside you could put, again, circles on there. But I want to thank you for joining me. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. Until next time, happy crafting and hope to see you real soon. Bye-bye.